responders always come home safe, and keep in our thoughts and prayers Captain Kellyanne Lely from Sayreville, who was in the Mideast, who was killed in a, keep her and her family in our prayers. Thank you. Whoever can join me in the salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Law, notice of this public meeting has been published in the Home News Tribune and Star Ledger newspapers and posted on the Middlesex County website, as well as on the front door of the end bulletin board of the Middlesex County Administration Building at least 48 hours in advance of this meeting, which shall be entered into the minutes of this meeting. Participants on this call will have the ability to speak during the public portions of this meeting. Members must press star 9 to virtually raise their hand to speak. When your hand is raised, you'll be placed in the queue or virtual line to speak during the public portion. The moderator will ask participants with raised hands to unmute themselves. When this happens, the phone operator will instruct the participant to press star 6 to unmute themselves. You will know when you have been unmuted and it is time to speak when you hear the operator say you are unmuted. When a participant has either completed their comments or told their allocated 5 minutes are up, they'll be placed on mute by the moderator.
Roll call.
Freeholder Armwood.
Here.
Freeholder Ascona Barber.
Here.
Freeholder Kenny.
Here.
Freeholder Koppel.
Here.
Freeholder Nara.
Here.
Freeholder Tamaro.
Here.
Freeholder Director Rios.
Here. We have recognitions.
Yes, we have one proclaiming December 2020 National Impaired Driving Prevention Month in Middlesex County.
Is there a motion to adopt?
To adopt.
Second.
Motion and a second. Roll call.
Freeholder Armwood.
Yes.
Freeholder Ascona Barber.
Yes.
Freeholder Kenny.
Yes.
Freeholder Koppel.
Yes.
Freeholder Nara.
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro.
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rios.
Yes. Minutes for approval.
Board of Chosen Freeholders regular meeting, November 16th, 2020 at 7:00 p.m.
Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Roll call.
Freeholder Armwood.
Yes.
Freeholder Ascona Barber.
Yes.
Freeholder Kenny.
Yes.
Freeholder Koppel.
Yes.
Freeholder Nara.
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro.
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rios.
Yes. Reports of freeholders. Freeholder Deputy Director Ken Armwood.
Thank you, Freeholder Director. Let me just pull this up. Give me 1 second. Bear with me. Okay. From the Office of Career Opportunity, I'm happy to report that the Office of Career Opportunity has received a notice of award for additional CARES Act funding for approximately $538,000 to further expand training opportunities and career placement services for those individuals experiencing job loss and that are directly impacted by COVID-19. Those interested in this occupational skills training are requested to please contact our New Brunswick office at 732-745-3955 or our Perth Amboy office at 732-293-0642 to schedule a virtual appointment with a career coach to discuss the training opportunities. I also wish to remind our residents that the Office of Career Opportunity also offers Skill Up Middlesex, a free online learning system with over 5,000 programs and courses that are made available to any Middlesex County resident. Enhance your skills and obtain industry-recognized credentials by taking these free online courses developed by Skillsoft, a training provider used by Fortune 500 companies. For more information and to register, go to the county website at middlesexcountynj, all one word, .gov and search Skill Up Middlesex or call 732-745-3955 for more information. From the Arts Institute, the Arts Institute is hosting a contactless food drive this weekend from Saturday, December 5th through Sunday, December 6th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at East Jersey Old Town Village. The food drive will benefit the county's food banks via McFoods. Folks are invited to donate to the food drive and receive a gift bag packaged with crafts, candy, and other fun goodies in return. Also, we welcome families to join our virtual holiday celebration for crafts, carols, recipes, stories, and more. Please visit the county website for full details and about this virtual holiday celebration. From the Office of Cooperative Extension Services, also happy to report that the Office of Extension Services has received a highly competitive USDA grant for their beginner farmers training program so that we can now focus on beginner farmer training for our residents. Extension Services is also continuing to expand their services and are in the planning process for the spring 2021 online programming schedule. And that concludes my report, Freeholder Director. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Director. Freeholder Escona Barber.
Thank you, Director Rios. As a reminder, Medicare open enrollment closes on December 7th. If you would like to speak with a counselor and review your current Medicare plan coverage, call the Office of Aging and Disabled Services or visit the county webpage for additional information. World AIDS Day, observed on December 1st, is dedicated to raising awareness of the AIDS epidemic. AIDS has killed more than 32 million people since 1981, making it one of the most destructive epidemics in record history. On the 1st, the HIV Health Services Planning Council, with support from Middlesex County Office of Human Services, presented a virtual event reflecting this year's World AIDS Day theme, Global Solidarity, Shared Responsibility. The agenda includes information about local services from Ryan White providers. The Division of Children's Services has the following competitive contract out for 2021. Providers for programs to youth residing in Middlesex County through these solicitation services will be implemented under the following categories: prevention, diversion, detention and detention alternatives, disposition and reentry, global positioning system, electronic monitoring, mentoring and evening reporting program in the areas of detention and disposition. Through the solicitation, services will be implemented that serve as a resource to the juvenile court for youth who are adjudicated or receive a community-based detention alternative while awaiting disposition of the case, or youth who have been adjudicated and placed on juvenile probation. For more information about these contracts, contact the Office of Human Services. And that concludes my report, Director Rios.
Thank you, Freeholder Escona Barber. Freeholder Charlie Kenny.
Thank you, Director Rios. Good evening. I have just on tonight's agenda, we have 3 items that are improvements for roads and signals in the county. The first one is a signal improvement at Forest Gate and Rossmore Drive in Monroe. Second is a signal improvement of French Street and Patterson Street in New Brunswick. And the third is a roadway improvement for Main Street in Saraville from Brookside Avenue to Burnett Avenue. I ask for the freeholder support in these on these 3 agendas, and the total for these 3 projects will be about $2.5 million. And that's all I have, Director. Thank you.
Thank you, Freeholder Kenny. Freeholder Leslie Koppel. Freeholder Koppel. Maybe she's experiencing some technical difficulties. Maybe we could come back to her. Freeholder Nara, I know you're not feeling well, and I don't know if you're up to a report, but.
Thank you, Director. I'll make my way through this report. From the Office of the Fire Marshal. Although COVID has consumed much of our lives and daily routines, the holiday season has arrived. This season may differ greatly from those of the past. However, it will still include more cooking, home decorating, and the increased risk of fire and accidents. Each year, fires occurring during the holiday season claim the lives of over 900 people, injure more than 3,200, and cause over $2 billion worth of damage. According to the United States Fire Administration, there are simple life-saving steps you can take to ensure a safe and happy holiday season. Please exercise extra caution during this special time. Trust your instincts. If something does not look right or feel right, it probably isn't. Remember, being safe doesn't take a holiday. We recommend that you follow these guidelines to help make your holiday season safer and more enjoyable. Be careful with holiday decorations. Choose decorations that are flame resistant or flame retardant. Keep lit candles away from decorations and other things that can burn. Some lights are only for indoor or outdoor use, but not both. Replace any string of lights with worn or broken cords or loose bulb connections. Read manufacturer's instructions for the number of light strands to connect. Use clips, not nails, to hang lights so the cords do not get damaged. Turn off all string lights and decorations before leaving home or going to bed. Keep decorations away from windows and doors. Also, please be sure to test and check your smoke alarms and let guests know what your fire escape plans are. Keep matches and lighters up high, out of sight and reach of children, preferably in a locked cabinet. Provide plenty of deep, large ashtrays and check them frequently. Cigarette butts can smolder in the trash and cause a fire, so completely douse cigarette butts with water before discarding. Also, remember, unattended cooking is the leading cause of home fires in the U.S. When cooking, remember to always keep an eye on the range. With respect to trees, when purchasing an artificial tree, look for the label fire resistant. When purchasing a live tree, check for freshness. A fresh tree is green, the needles are hard to pull from branches, and when bent between your fingers, the needles do not break. When setting up a tree at home, place it away from the fireplace, radiators, or portable heaters. Place the tree out of the way of traffic and do not block doorways. Cut a few inches off of the trunk of your tree to expose the fresh wood. This allows for better water absorption and will help to keep your tree from drying out and becoming a fire hazard. Be sure to keep the stand filled with water because heated rooms can dry live trees out rapidly. Also, make sure the base is steady so the tree won't tip over easily. With regards to your fireplaces or wood stoves, before lighting any fire, remove all greens, papers, and other decorations from the fireplace area. Check to see that the flue is open. Do not burn wrapping papers in the fireplace. A flash fire may result as wrappings ignite suddenly and burn intensely. Although beautiful, poinsettias are also known to be poisonous to humans and animals, so keep them well out of reach or avoid having them at all. Watch children and pets around space heaters or the fireplace. Do not leave a child or pet unattended. Store scissors and any sharp objects that you use to wrap presents out of your child's reach. And keep decorations at least 6 inches above the child's reach. Finally, use your home burglar alarm system. If you plan to travel for the holidays, don't discuss your plans with strangers. Certainly, don't make announcements on Facebook or social media about your trip plans. Have a trusted friend or neighbor keep an eye on your home and or notify your local police department if you are planning on being away. Finally, from the Office of Health Services, the county continues to provide residents with free COVID testing and flu vaccinations. To make an appointment for either or obtain additional holiday safety tips, please visit Middlesex Public Safety and Health. And Director, that concludes my report. And just in case anyone's wondering, if I don't have COVID.
Glad to hear that, Freeholder. Hopefully you'll get better soon. I'm going to go back to Freeholder Leslie Koppel, if you're available for your report.
Yes, thank you, Director. Freeholder Nara, I really take me up on that offer of chicken soup that I made for the last meeting, because it sounds like you still need it, and I hope you're feeling better. On August 17th, Middlesex County rolled out a CARES Act small business relief program in order to assist the county's small business community, which was badly damaged by this COVID-19 pandemic. To date, we have received over 1,000 applications by affected small businesses. I am happy to announce that this week we issued a fourth round of payments, distribution to 157 small businesses for a total of $4,246,818. This brings the total relief payment to date to $10,900,000, helping 421 small businesses across 24 municipalities throughout Middlesex County. The grants serve to reimburse incurred costs and loss of revenue associated with adapting business operations in the COVID-19 environment. Payments range from $410.97 to the maximum $30,000. With an average grant payment of $26,030, were distributed to small businesses negatively impacted by COVID-19. Recipients of this first round of federal funding include restaurants, hair and nail salons, retail facilities, healthcare offices, manufacturing, construction, educational services, transportation companies, and fitness studios. Among other qualifications to be eligible for the grants, these businesses must employ less than 50 employees, have a net annual business income of less than $1 million. With millions still available in this program, the deadline for submission for this relief program is December 30th. Those eligible to apply for grants are encouraged to do so at the new CARES Act Small Business Relief Grants portal. In total, the county intends to award $30 million to small businesses, with grants up to $30,000 available for each business. For information, please visit www.middlesexcounty.gov/MCSBRG. This program is being administered by the Middlesex County Department of Finance. Middlesex County's commitment to its small business owners is fierce, and this first round of funding, distributed to 421 small businesses, will make a huge difference in the lives of these businesses, the people they employ, and the communities they serve. That concludes my report, Director.
Thank you, Freeholder Koppel. Freeholder Tamaro.
Thank you, Director. All of our Middlesex County parks and open space are open from sunrise to sunset with strict social distancing requirements. Pursuant to Executive Order 204, effective Monday, December 7, 2020, and until further notice, the gathering limit for all outdoor activities is 25 individuals. As a result of this order, all scheduled permits have been canceled at this time. Let's be safe, practice social distancing, wear a mask while enjoying our parks and open space. Plays in the park. Although we won't be able to gather as usual, as we usually do at our annual performance of Joseph the Technicolor Dreamcoat at the State Theater, we hope you can join us for the Plays in the Park show programming. We are proud to present a musical review entitled 100 Years of Broadway, from Tin Pan Alley to Times Square. Join us on the Plays in the Park Facebook Sunday, December 13th at 2 p.m. to hear our best actors and singers perform from over the last 100 years. More information can be found on our Middlesex County website in Parks and Recreation section. And that concludes my report, Director.
Thank you, Freeholder Tamaro. I just have a couple of comments. I just want to remind everyone that we expect some severe weather coming tomorrow and into Saturday, high winds and heavy rain, flooding. So I just want to remind our residents that be aware of that. And if you don't have to go out, please stay home. And on another note, I would like to congratulate one individual who has served the county tremendously, and that's George Beverly. He retired after 59 years as our planner. And I have to say, every time I saw George, he was always cooperative, helpful, assisting in any way he'd smile on his face, and always worked with everyone for the betterment of Middlesex County. I hope, George, if he's listening, you enjoy your retirement in good health and stay well, and God bless you, because you really were a true public servant to Middlesex County for all of us. Thank you for your service. Okay, at this point, any resolutions? Mr. Kelso, any resolutions to be added?
There are none.
Any resolutions to be amended?
There are none.
Any resolutions to be held?
There are none.
Resolutions to be voided?
There are none.
Okay, before I open up the public portion on resolutions only, I'd like to thank all those for joining us on the call tonight, for your attendance. And before we begin the public portion on this, I'd just like to state that we will utilize advanced capabilities and technology to conduct this meeting in order to keep the quorum of this meeting and allow those wishing to speak to do so uninterrupted. The following instructions, which the clerk of the board recited earlier, apply to this meeting. For those joining us on this call who have spoken in the past, please note that these instructions have changed due to changes in the technology being utilized. Participants on this call will have the ability to speak during the public portions of this meeting. Before participants can unmute themselves, they must press *9 to virtually raise their hand. When your hand is raised, you will be placed in the queue or virtual line to speak during the public portion. The moderator will ask participants with raised hands to unmute themselves. When this happens, the phone operator will instruct the participant to press *6 if you're unmuted. When a participant has either completed their comments or told their allocated 5 minutes are up, they will be placed on mute by the moderator. To recap those updates instructions, you must press *9 to raise your hand, then press *6 when the operator tells you to do so in order to speak during any of the public portions. So now the moderator can open up the floor for public comments or questions on just resolutions listed.
Director, there is a participant wishing to speak. I will allow that individual now.
Okay. Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes to speak on just resolutions listed.
Yes, Mr. Director, Charlie Cradaville, New Brunswick Today. I'll ask about the first one, your reorg meeting. There's not going to be a reception this year, is there?
No, sir. Not to my knowledge, but that your reception is usually run by the Democratic organization. But I don't see that happening.
Okay. 1476. I have to ask, is Freeholder Ascona Barber still employed by the city of New Brunswick?
Yes, she is.
Okay. I see she's sponsoring a resolution to extend a contract with her other employer, the city of New Brunswick, and I do take issue with that due to the conflict of interest that's apparent there. I would say at a minimum she should recuse herself from the matter. It's a little tough though. She's already sponsored it, but I brought this up in January. I think it is a conflict for her to be taking action on matters involving her other employer. Could Mr. Kelso weigh in on this?
For every agenda that the freeholders have at a regular meeting, my office goes through each of the resolutions with regard to every freeholder to determine whether there's actually a conflict. And we do that in the case of Freeholder Ascona Barber with any matters associated or referencing the city of New Brunswick. In this case, this resolution is not a conflict for her on the advice of the county council, because it doesn't relate directly to her services to and responsibilities with the city. But Charlie, we do review every one of the resolutions, and occasionally there may be a conflict, but in this case there isn't.
Okay. Well, it's my understanding she works for the mayor's office, so be that as it may, I would suggest it is a conflict. I want to ask about the two that are Texas Eastern 1504 and
What page is that, Charlie, if I might ask? Just to make
page
try to-
9 at the top.
1504,
Page 9
okay.
at the top, and then there's another one on page 10 for Texas Eastern getting a utility easement. One is for the Greenway, and the other is another part of Edison. Can somebody tell me what it is that's being done there? This is not construction of new pipeline, is it?
Let me, Freeholder Director, I can answer part
Sure.
of this. I would actually call on Rick Lear to embellish it. Just so
Okay.
we understand, the first resolution deals with the access into the Greenway. The second resolution is more an engineering resolution that deals with the installation of pipeline through 3 different rights of way that the county has. But they are related. They are essentially the same project. In the case of the engineering component, the pipeline is since it is a gas facility, they're entitled by law to be able to access all public rights of way. And in this case, these 3 crossings over those 3 roadways, they are entitled to do so. There is a consideration of $15,000 that the county is going to receive, but that is limited because the law does not permit us to charge for those easements, but there is a reimbursement for associated expenses and time associated with county personnel. There is, however, a component of that $15,000 that we are receiving because we are allowing them to temporarily use a location for construction. It does connect into the Greenway installation that is the subject of the other resolution, and I'm going to ask Rick if you could just give some brief overview of that particular resolution and the easement.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Kelso. Texas Eastern has requested to do a cross underneath the Middlesex Greenway. It is an easement of 120 feet with a width of 20 feet that will pass underneath the actual elevated portion of the Middlesex Greenway. As the Greenway approaches Route 1, it starts to raise up to ferry users across Route 1. So this is one that won't have an impact on the use of the Greenway during construction or after construction. And the consideration for that easement in conjunction with the work we do through Green Acres is $200,000, and that's a total of 2,405 square feet.
Thank you very much. And also want to thank whoever was responsible for getting that red light camera finally removed from Easton and Park, which is on the agenda 1506. And then finally want to ask about this $374,000 expense 20-1516. There's a sinkhole in Sayreville. Can somebody tell me about when that became an emergency and what's being done about it?
Which one again, Charlie? I'm sorry.
Time's
It's
up.
okay. 15-16 on page 10.
Okay.
Director Ron Sender, I can answer this question if you want me to.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, yes, there was a clay pipe about 18 inches in diameter right in the middle of the intersection. It's probably 100 years old. It broke, it developed a sinkhole. It was undermining the roadway at the intersection. I declared an emergency. I got a contractor. He's working there every night this week to stabilize and replace that pipe and get the intersection back in order. It has to be done at night because the intersection is so heavily traveled.
Thank you. Okay, anyone else in the queue?
Director, there are no other hands raised for this
Is
portion.
there a motion to
the public
close?
portion.
Second?
Motion and a second. Is all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion
Aye.
carries. Okay, are there any items to be removed from consent agenda and voted on separately? Any freeholder have anyone?
Yes, Director, this is Freeholder Nara. I have to vote separately, I asked to vote separately on Resolution 20-1474.
Okay.
Yes, I have that, and I believe that's all we have, Director.
Okay, Mr. Kelso then?
Yes, Freeholder Director, a motion would then be in order to adopt a consent agenda consisting of resolution numbers 20-1456 through resolution 20-1528, excluding resolution 20-1474 to be voted upon separately.
Is there a motion?
Motion to adopt.
Second?
Motion and a second. Roll call?
Freeholder Armwood,
Yes.
Freeholder Ascona Barber,
Yes.
Freeholder Kenny,
Yes.
Freeholder Koppel,
Yes.
Freeholder Nara,
Yes.
Freeholder Tamara,
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rios.
Yes.
And now, Freeholder Director, a motion would be in order to adopt resolution 20-1474 excluded by Freeholder Nara.
Is there a
Motion to
motion?
adopt.
Second?
Motion and a second. Roll call?
Freeholder Armwood,
Yes.
Freeholder Ascona Barber,
Yes.
Freeholder Kenny,
Yes.
Freeholder Koppel,
Yes.
Freeholder Nara,
Present but not voting.
Freeholder Tamara,
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rios.
Yes. Okay. Before we go into the, before I open up the public portion, on any questions or comments, I would just like to remind people that participants on this call will have the ability to speak during the public portion of this meeting. Before participants are able to unmute themselves, they must press *9 to virtually raise their hand. When your hand is raised, you will be placed in the queue or virtual line to speak during the public portion. The moderator will ask participants with raised hands to unmute themselves. When this happens, the phone operator will instruct the participant to press *6 to unmute themselves. You will know when you've been unmuted and it's time to speak when you hear the operator say you're unmuted. When a participant has either completed their comments or are told their allocated 5 minutes are up, they will be placed on mute by the moderator. So to recap, those updated instructions, you must press *9 to raise your hand, then press *6 when their operator tells you to do so in order to speak during any of the public portion. So the moderator can open up the floor. And moderator, is there anyone in the queue?
Yes, Director, at this time, I see an individual with their hand raised, and I will allow them to speak now.
Thank you. Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Yes, sir. Charlie Cradaville, New Brunswick. I'm the editor of New Brunswick Today, community newspaper here, available online at newbrunswicktoday.com. I want to start by saying wishing a very happy retirement to George Verparides, who I know was extremely instrumental asset for the county over the years and a good man. First question for Mr. Kelso. Do you still represent the New Brunswick Development Corporation?
I currently have no matters that I'm handling for New Brunswick Development Corporation.
Okay. I want to ask you, Mr. Freeholder Director, if you're aware of the investigation into pay-to-play involving Gary Taffitt's company.
I'm not aware of it, no.
Okay. Mr. Taffet is on the college board, right? The trustees of the county college?
Yes, he is.
Okay. And I guess I'm a little concerned because in learning about these new investigations, I'm also learning that, in the past, apparently he was forced to pay $725,000 in restitution fines and interest to end a SEC investigation that accused him of passing along insider information. Were you aware of this when you agreed to put him on the county college board?
I had heard about that a long time ago.
So you were aware, but it you didn't view that as disqualifying for him to be in charge of the county college?
I find him to be a individual that is very civic-minded, and I think he's a good asset to the Board of Trustees for the college.
Okay, and can you tell me, does the county college at all use any services or pay any money to Gary Taffitt's company or companies?
That's a question that you would have to ask the County College Board of Trustees or the administration or the president. I can't answer that question.
Is Mr. Polomino on the call? He might be able to tell us because I know he's involved with the insurance.
Mr. Polomino is on the call.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, so does Acrisure get any, do any business with the county or the college?
I'm not aware of any, no. I know that we do business with the Joint Health Insurance Fund with a company that's run by Jay McManus.
Right.
And I know there's an affiliation, but again, it's again, I'll turn to our legal counsel. I do not see any conflict of interest whatsoever.
Okay. Well, I believe he's the owner of Reliance Insurance Group. So to me, it would be problematic if that company is profiting off of deals with the county when you've put him in this role. Did the county council have a comment? I didn't mean to interrupt.
The company we do business with is North American Insurance.
Okay. Thank you. I noticed the MCIA is giving up McFoods, and I was just curious about that. What led to that? Maybe somebody can tell me.
We're going to bring it into the county, and we feel that it better serves our organization, that it comes under community services through Middlesex County. So we're working through that, and we think it's a better fit for the organization. It's a better fit for our residents.
Okay, great. I do want to ask about two more items, and I'll just put them out there, and you guys can respond, and then I'll be done. The surrogate retired, and I want to understand who is assuming the responsibility. I believe Mr. Kelso told me for now it's Heather Antonuccio, and so I want to understand what her title is at this time and what the process is for replacing Mr. Hoagland. I also want to be clear if there's any requirements to serve as the surrogate or to perform those duties. Like, for instance, does one have to be a county resident? Are there other, certifications, qualifications required for that role? And what is the plan to ultimately replace Mr. Hoagland?